everyone, I'm Christie Vanover from Girls Can Grill. Today I'm cooking with Cowboy charcoal and we're gonna grill up pork tenderloin using my 777 method. I want to talk to you a little bit about pork tenderloin itself. When you go to the grocery store and you look in the butcher case, you're going to see different types of pork loins in there. You'll see a center loin, which is about this thick. You'll also see something that may just say pork loin, and then there's pork tenderloin, which is the smaller, thinner pieces. Now, one thing that's a little confusing though in the butcher case, I'll be honest, is when you buy them, they usually come two to a pack. So they may look like a center loin or a loin, but they're actually tenderloins, which is a smaller strip here. It's located along the back side of the pig, and it's really tender, which is why it's called a tenderloin. It doesn't take very long to cook, but one thing we're gonna do when we get it prepped here is remove some of this silver skin. So I like to slide my knife, the point of my knife, right under that silver skin, and then just slide it off here to remove that excess. There you go, just like that. There's a little piece over here. Now, if you don't do this step, it's not the end of the world, but silver skin can tend to be a little bit tough. So by removing it, it's gonna make sure that every bite is nice and tender. There's also just a little bit of fat here. Same thing, I just like to take some of that off. I've already cleaned this one up, and then there's just a little bit of fat here that I'm gonna remove as well. Perfect. Now with our flavoring on this, it's really simple. We're gonna use a binder. Sometimes people use mustard. For pork tenderloin, I like to use mayonnaise. I've got 1/3 of a cup here, and I'm gonna use 2 teaspoons of my pork rub. You can use any type of flavoring, any type of seasoning that you want mixed with this, but my pork rub is great. It's got salt, pepper, garlic, a little bit of sugar, and also some chilies in here, but it's not super spicy. You just mix that together in a bowl, and then you're gonna get a little bit messy, which is why gloves are great. We're just gonna spread this all over the pork tenderloin. Try to get all sides. Once this hits the grill, what's gonna happen is this mayonnaise is gonna start to char and form a really nice crust. This is a recipe for barbecue pork tenderloin. That's why I'm using my pork rub, because it has those traditional barbecue flavors. And at the end, we're gonna hit this with some barbecue sauce. But what I love about recipes, especially recipes on the grill, is you can totally make them your own. So if you don't wanna do barbecue flavors, maybe you wanna do like a Korean profile, you could definitely change things up. You could add a little bit of ginger in here and then use a Korean barbecue sauce to make it a little bit different. While I'm doing this, I've got my grill heating up behind me. I've got some Cowboy charcoal hardwood briquettes. We're just letting those ash over, and then we'll dump them onto the grill and get it set up to about 350 degrees. Here we go. Make sure when you set your charcoal chimney somewhere that you put it in a heat-safe place, because it is gonna still be hot. All right, we've got the grill all set up to 350 degrees. I'm using a direct heat setting because that's gonna give us great char on this tenderloin. We're gonna place these right on the grill. Here's what the 777 method is all about. I'm setting my timer for 7 minutes. We're gonna cook them 7 minutes with the lid closed on this side. We'll give them a flip, do another 7 minutes. Then I'm gonna move it to indirect heat and do 7 more minutes. All right, it's almost time. Let's take another look. Oh, they're looking so good, so juicy. As I mentioned, pork tenderloin is a really tender and juicy and flavorful cut. So we're starting with a good piece of meat. We seasoned it nicely, and we're getting that great charcoal sear. 7 minutes are up. Reset the timer for 7 minutes, but now we're gonna move this over to the indirect heat. And what I mean by that is that this grill has been set up so we've got charcoal on this side and no charcoal on this side. So this is the indirect heat zone. Now I'm gonna hit it with some barbecue sauce. We're using the Cowboy Smokehouse. This has some great hickory flavor. And you're just gonna brush this right on the pork loins. This is gonna give it some great color, great caramelization, and more of that authentic barbecue flavor. All right, we're gonna close this down, cook it for approximately 7 more minutes. The main thing is you wanna cook it to an internal temperature of 145 degrees, then you're gonna have guaranteed juiciness. Okay guys, we've let this rest. Again, this was the 777 method. It's really easy to remember. 7 minutes on one side, flip it 7 minutes, then move it to indirect heat for another approximate 7 minutes. Now that it's rested, we're gonna slice it. I like to use a long serrated knife. It makes cutting through it super easy. I also like to slice it a little bit on the bias. You guys can get a look at that. It's got great juiciness that's just dripping off of it. All right, let's dig in for a taste. perfect medium rare. That's exactly what we're going for, with a little bit of that charcoal flavor and that hickory smoke from that barbecue sauce. You guys gotta try this recipe. Grilled pork tenderloin is a great, easy weeknight recipe. You can serve this with some simple sides like broccoli or mac and cheese. The family will love it, the kids will love it, but you can also dress it up and make it fancy and serve it with some Brussels sprouts and serve it for a dinner party. You can get this whole recipe on our website. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. I'm Christy Vanover from Girls Can Grill. As always, keep cooking with Cowboy.